And I'm with Aubrey Freely.
What's up, guys? How's it going? How's your night? How's everyone's moon night going,
How's
right?
everybody's moon night going? Yes, yes, dude. This episode, we have a lot to talk about today. First, I just want to go ahead and mention if you guys haven't had a chance, make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to like our videos. Make sure to check out our videos. And make sure to check out our other channels. We have our Crown Gambit Lifestyle and our Queen Kills Bishop by Crown Gambit, which is our gaming channel. So, with
Which
that
is
being
still in the
said,
works, but without further ado, go ahead, Efren.
we are ready to go ahead and talk about episode 2 of Moon Knight. Now, the
Which is titled "Summon the Suit," by the way.
Summon the Suit. And now we know why it was called Summon the Suit, which is kind of point really obvious at the end of the episode. But yeah, man, what are your thoughts on it?
Hold on, I'm still do, publishing this right now for our patrons only. I really like the show. Again, this reminded me a lot of Batman. I mean, when he was jumping, we're gonna go back and forth with the episode, but when he was jumping from like rooftop to rooftop, that was like so Batman right there.
Mm-hmm.
When he was taking the moon, I guess like the moon emblem, and then he
Moonerang.
was using it as like a batarang, but we'll call it like the
The
moonerang or something like that.
Moonerang.
Yeah, that was really good. I like the show. We get more of Moon Knight, which is really cool. So I think that's cool as well. Yeah, it's a great show, dude. I'm really liking the show so far.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
here.
So what about you, man? How are you feeling about the show? Efren didn't get any sleep today. He's like, oh shoot,
No, it was
just playing video games all night
all night.
for Moon Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, waiting for Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Which was great because I was able to actually push through and actually proceed, continue on my videos. So that
Yeah.
was pretty incredible. But, anyways, look, man, this show is just incredible. Just watching the fact that you have two different characters. As a matter of fact, now you have three because you kind of get to see the
Well,
other
in the first
characters.
episode, we hear first we know about Mark, right? Mark is
Mhm.
the entity who's Moon Knight,
Yeah.
and then we heard a second voice, which is more like a god godlike voice, like a very deep voice, who sounds like Venom. By the way, it looks like a
Mhm.
sounds like a symbiote. What's the name of that? It was the Khonshu,
Khonshu,
right? So Khonshu is
God of the Moon.
the god that he basically took Mark out of his grave because he was a corpse, and used him, to do his bidding, and found Steven as
Mhm.
the host.
As the host.
So that was really interesting. So we get to know more about this.
Yeah.
Even towards the end, we find out that Mark is in control now. He's finding more in control. We
Yes.
find out that Mark has a his own life. He's married. He's married to Layla, and we find out also that Layla and Mark, they were studying hieroglyphics, and I think I kind of mentioned this before, but they were archaeologists. I think they were partners in crime in
Yeah.
archaeology. So yeah, man, and I thought that was really interesting. Leela didn't know too much about you know Steven. She didn't even know that there was like that Mark is living a double life, or there was like two people living their own lives. She didn't know too much about
She didn't
that.
even know that exactly, and that's what's crazy. Like, how do you
Hmm.
live with a partner who you just don't know that has a complete different life?
I mean, Steven didn't even know anything. Like
Yeah, but it's just the
he
fact
meets
that
her.
Layla knows a lot about Mark though, because she even says like, "Oh, suit up." She knows a lot about the suit.
Well,
She knows so.
she barely found out, or kind of. I guess she knows
No,
about
she
that
know about the
already,
suit.
but she
She
didn't know
doesn't
about
know about
Steven though.
Steven.
Like she was
She thought
like
that
stop
was
with
just
that British
Mark.
accent.
Yeah.
Like why are you messing around? Like don't you remember me? I'm your wife. So I find it really interesting. Again, if you're not a big fan of Moon Knight, um, I don't think you need to. I mean, it's good to watch. I mean, it's good to read the comic books and learn more about this character. But at the same time, if you're just a general audience, if you're a general viewer of these type of characters, I think you can still enjoy the show for what
Yes,
it is, because
that's how I
they're
have.
explaining it throughout this episode and throughout the series. But yeah, this is a good show. I mean, in the beginning, we find more about the there's like a lot of suspense as far as like how like the transitions of like the double life, and
Yeah.
how's he killing people. But now we're finding more we're getting more Moon Knight. You know, more White Batman.
A white Batman.
Batman Knight, yeah. Even that one part when he was jumping from building to building and he was kind of like block the moon and use that like that was kind of like his
Yeah, that
little
was pretty cool.
symbol, his Moon Knight symbol instead of his Batman symbol.
Yeah, one thing that did kind of like find me as a shock was that Ethan, what's the character that he plays?
Oh, Ethan. Ethan plays
Arthur.
Arthur, the
I was
cult leader.
surprised that the fact that Arthur used to be the avatar for
Yeah, yeah.
Khonshu.
He was the avatar
He
before,
was the Justice.
and he was the avatar before
Mark or
Steven.
Steven.
He was avatar before Steven, and I guess he was questioning his god, so therefore he started his own cult. But see, I'm still trying to figure out what Arthur's power is. I know he's taking souls like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. I'm getting a lot of like Mortal
No,
Kombat.
but I
Like,
feel like the only
there's like
thing,
reptile who disappears and stuff, and you're
but
fighting like this one
but see,
reptile.
I think his powers just come from because of what's the
That
Amit.
Amit is the
Amit is the god of judgment. She like judges
mhm.
them already as a child. So it's like if they already have like some hate or any anger or any issues that's later on gonna cause like effects towards others, then they just get rid of them already. So they just want people who are all white pure or purity, which is kind of hard to believe because you can't really tell the future. And this god seems to already judge you
Or goddess.
or
So she's a
goddess.
female.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like a goddess who can already judge you, and based on her judgment, she'll either let you live or she'll take your soul.
Yeah.
Which is like pretty crazy because they don't care what age you are. Um,
Even
they're just gonna
oh,
just go
wait,
with what they
saying you
want.
kill children too, because like that's like crossing the line. I don't kill
They
children.
don't kill children.
That's my
Yeah.
British accent.
Well, see,
I,
that's
I, I practice my British accent as much
yeah.
as
So
possible.
it's crazy, like just to kind of just to see that, and now we're starting to find out more about the gods, which I hope we're able to get introduced to all the 9 gods,
Hmm.
even though there were 7 on the tablet or on the poster on the first episode when they were saying, oh, well, isn't there like 9, but there's 7 on here. So the
Uh huh.
two could be Khonshu,
Well,
and
we
it could
know
also
Conchu. There's
probably be Amit.
Amit, and then there's I think that's what I've caught so far, and there's like Hargo or something like that. I'm not really sure, but yeah, we're getting introduced to the different gods and stuff and
Mm,
goddesses, and their capabilities and what their narrative is, what their motive is. Khonshu, I'm still trying to figure out like is he really bad? Is he really good? Um,
yeah.
but it seems like the main focus right now is that
Hmm.
compass, the scarab. Like everyone is focused on that scarab, because not only is it a compass, but I believe it's also a key to releasing or summoning, the goddess. So that's why Arthur really wants that scarab
Yeah,
because
because he wants to release her. I think that's the
that
reason. I think that's the reason why he got shunned from Khonshu was probably because the fact that he probably wanted to release a maiden, and then Khonshu must have been like no, and then
yeah.
since he just said no, I'm gonna do
Well,
my
he
own
wants
thing.
to release
Exactly.
Amit,
But see, Khonshu didn't want to, so I think that's the reason why Arthur got kicked out from being the Avatar.
mm,
Was because he probably wanted to release her. Maybe she probably grasped onto him, but I think that's where he's getting his powers from. Was from her
yeah.
because
Where
she's probably trying to persuade him to release her.
it's so Shang Tsung. Your soul is mine. Yeah.
Mine's for the taking.
And okay, I want to talk about like the action. I think the action is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I saw the so I guess uh, Steven was a bit hesitant because he's still trying to figure out what's going on. Like, man, everything's just so crazy. I'm just a regular person. I lost my job. I lost everything. I lost like, my life because of you.
I can't even
And
go on
and
dates.
and then yeah, I can't even go on dates. I can't even have a girlfriend. But you have a girlfriend. You have a wife. You have a lovely wife.
How's that happening?
But the fact that when he turns into his own Moon Knight, that's the suited Moon Knight, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the Moon Knight you see in the comic books. Because I didn't know too much about that. I know there was a suited Moon Knight, so that's his own, like his own version now. Like
Yeah.
Steven gets to become his own Moon Knight now, and then of course Mark becomes like that whole cloaked in cape and everything that looks like Batman. But when he pulled out the sticks, which is also the Filipino sticks, by the way, I don't know if you guys are know that. I think it's called the Screamo sticks. I'm not sure, but it is a Filipino combat stick.
Mhm.
It's something that Nightwing uses. There's so many Batman references in this show. I love it so much, dude. Like
Yeah.
when he pulled out the sticks, I'm like, dude, is he gonna do? He's gonna bust out like Nightwing right now with the sticks. But I guess since he doesn't know much about like power and like combat,
Yeah.
he doesn't have the combat skills. He
It's
was like
no good
hesitant.
for
He
him
just
right
like
now.
put him out. But I think he's gonna start using those sticks like later on in the
That's what I'm
episode. I
thinking.
am so waiting for that. Maybe Mark's gonna train him later on. Like this is how you use your power. Da da da.
Yeah,
You
that or
know.
he's just gonna awaken the power.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like somehow all of a sudden be like, oh shit, I can actually do this. I just can't. I mean, I feel like Khonshu just made Steve a certain individual, so like not strong will, so that way Mark can take over the body
But see,
more.
Steve is weak minded. I mean, not. I wouldn't
But
say weak
but
minded. He's just like so afraid. He's like a person who walks in eggshells.
but see, that's the thing. He
He
doesn't even know
he
himself.
doesn't have like. I mean, he's very educated, but for some odd reason, I mean, he gets stuck with like a dead end job. He works in a gift shop, so he hasn't. He's still pursuing his goals as far as like being something important, and I think that's like one of his
And
goals. But he's such a big loser that in his eyes he feels like a big
but see,
loser,
that's the thing. It's
and
like,
Mark is like bringing the coolness out of him.
but yeah, that's the thing. It's like, is he really like that, or was he a different person? But not knowing who he truly is, he doesn't know what he's really capable of. Because in all
Well,
reality,
I think this is
he's always having
he's like he seems
different
like he's being bullied
personalities.
for the rest of his like for his past life.
But that's the thing. He
He
doesn't
seems like
even
that
know
type of
that.
person.
He doesn't even know when
No, he
he's.
thinks he is though. But I think this Moon Knight, Mark, and the other entity, which is the God entity. I think they're gonna give him more, I guess, confidence and motivation into becoming a better person. Again, he has his own like Moon Knight suit now. Like Steve gets to be his own Moon Knight suit, and I think we're gonna see more of that maybe in the next episode or the next episode, where he's gonna learn and build that confidence and become his own
Yeah,
man.
his own the character.
His own thing. But dude, okay, I want to talk about the special effects. And for you guys joining, thanks for joining. If you guys let us know what you guys think about this episode because man, I was really looking forward to like a full Moon Knight combat suit and everything.
Yeah, you finally get
And
to see that.
what do you think about the special effects though? And I have allergies by the way, so don't mind me.
Dude, I think the special effects were amazing. I mean, but then again, that's what you get when you have Disney Plus that's pouring in, a grip load of cash into these productions. Something compared to like Morbius. That's just like you could,
Efforts saw Morbius by the way.
I watched
I,
Morbius,
I
which
didn't see Morbius.
and just based on seeing
And
like.
everyone says it's all over the place, so I haven't seen it yet.
Well,
So
see, that's the thing. Here's
I was like,
here's the thing. It's like you have a company that's pouring money into it, so you can kind of see the quality in the special
well, Morbius
effects
is produced and created by Sony.
by Marvel. Okay,
Well,
so
it's technically I haven't seen it, but technically it's still in the Marvel property umbrella kind of thing. It's kind of confusing,
yeah,
but
so
Sony still owns all the characters of the Spider Verse, anything Spider
still
Man
is.
related and everything. But no, what's your comparison and contrast with Moon
What
Knight?
exactly? Like what I'm trying to say is like you can kind of tell by the amount of money that's poured into these projects just by the way that you watch the series and you let's say watch the film, you're gonna kind of see like there was a lack of special
Which one are you
effects.
talking about? Talking about
Morbius.
Morbius? Okay.
Yes. So it's like and it's like it kind of gets to show like the more money you put into it, the way more it's gonna come out like a lot better.
I
Because
mean,
if you're low budget, bro, like that's gonna make a big difference.
yeah.
Because you're not gonna be able to do so much compared to a bigger budget. Pay for somebody to be able to create something that's gonna give it a better story, and I feel like Disney Plus hires the best of the best to be able to create these shows that kind of look like films,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
I get
So
what you're saying. Like, I mean, for something that's just a series, You can see the quality
Mm-hmm.
of the films. I mean, with Loki, with WandaVision, with all
Yeah,
all
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You kind of start
everything
seeing
that came
everything.
before this. They tested out with WandaVision and see how it works out. Even the first. I mean, I love WandaVision, by the way. I mean, I don't know how everyone feels about it, but I love it because it's a different take from
Your
your
typical Marvel.
typical MCU cinematic big production. I mean, it's still a pretty big production, but it's condensed in its own like smaller version. So it's not like a big scale, just like Endgame and everything. Like
Yeah.
they condensed it. They condensed the story to just focus on those characters. Same thing goes with like some of the other characters that we see in Loki. I haven't seen Hawkeye yet, but we did watch the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think that was a pretty big scale.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to Moon Knight, I mean, you could see the production value of the episode. I mean, even the first episode already got me sold. I was
Mm-hmm.
already sold with the first episode. I saw the trailer even prior to watching this. I watched the trailer over and over, and I'm like, dude, this looks like a film.
Mm-hmm.
And after watching this second episode, man, I mean, I'm because I'm an editor, and I try to look at things, in a show where I feel like they lack like CGI, or maybe the budget was cut, due to the effect. But after watching this second episode, like, dude, it was really, really good. I
Yeah.
mean, not was, but is very,
It was
very
very
good.
good.
Well done. The alligator, demon
The
thing,
Jackal.
the jackal or whatever, the
Yeah.
alligator
The
demon.
Invincible
I
Jackal.
I thought the CGI effects on the alligator was well done. Even the effects when Moon Knight was jumping from rooftop to rooftop. I mean, there
Yeah,
are
that looked
times
cool.
I'm sure they use CGI effects at certain times with the costume, but the costume is still practical, but it doesn't look cheap. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like something you got from Party City, or if you compare it to like some of the costume designs from like the CW, like the Flash, or Arrow. Like, you could tell, like, compare and contrast like the difference between
The
like the
materials.
design and stuff. So I'm sure there's a lot of there is a lot of CGI going on with the transformation of Moon Knight, but as I'm watching it, it's like sometimes I can't even tell what's CGI because it's so well done.
Yeah.
Like when he had the whole suit and the glowing eyes and stuff, like I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, that was
It
cool.
looks so clean, and I'm so
Yeah.
surprised. I'm surprised how like Moon Knight doesn't get dirty with that white
I know,
suit.
with all that
Like,
white
he
suit.
gets like tossed around and stuff. I guess it's a magical like transformation. So I guess the suit never gets dirty. But like, dude, he's wearing like that white
What
suit and stuff. You know what I mean?
what a good way to see it. It's like imagine when he fights a real crazy villain. Like, will the suit ever get hurt, like damage, or is it just gonna
Well,
stay
he
like
has
that?
superpowers, dude. Like,
Yeah,
he
no,
can stop
I'm sure,
a
but it's like,
car.
yeah, I'm sure, but it's like, I mean, you watch Spider Man, and you watch some parts where his suit is like all torn to shit up.
Yeah, but see,
It's like,
Spider-Man's
is that gonna
suit's not
happen?
magical. Like, his suit's like
Yeah,
magical.
but there has like there's some crazy alien tech, which is like,
Oh, you mean like the nano suit? Like
yeah, the
Spider-Man has like
nanosuit,
nano
yeah,
suit. Like, that's a different suit though. That's like a Tony Stark suit, so it can kind of like reform
reactors,
itself
yeah.
or regenerate itself. But that's a nano suit. But I think going back, well, I guess we could talk a little bit about Spider-Man. But with Spider-Man, after No Way Home, we find out that he has a new suit, which is like just his practical suit, like the suit that he
The
just
old
made,
school.
and it's just like a tribute to like the old school, going back to its like old school origin, like like how
Origins, yeah.
Spider-Man's suit really is. Because I think people
That was
were
the first time when he.
complaining about like the whole nanotech thing because they were making fun of him. Like, he's like Robert Downey Jr.
Mm,
Jr. I mean, he's like Iron Man Jr. So now that at the last episode the last movie, they actually made a practical suit. But this suit is practical too. I mean, it's practical, but at the same time, it looks really good.
yeah,
I mean, props to like the costume designers and the people doing CGI and stuff.
yeah.
Like, I'm talking so much because because I
It's
love
not,
the show so much.
and it's
But go
good,
ahead,
man.
go ahead.
It's good, dude. Like, and it's just like having to watch, like I said, the characters and seeing the character development, seeing the new characters,
Mm-hmm.
as well that they're opening up. It just kind of shows like there's gonna be a lot to it, and then like just they give you just enough to want more, but they don't give you a lot more where you're kind of start thinking ahead like, oh, this is what's gonna possibly happen. You can't really
Well, especially if
determine
you're
that.
not like a the reader of a comics of Moon Knight,
Yeah, but see,
you
that's the
don't
thing. We
know
don't even
exactly
know
what's
that
gonna
if it's
happen.
really based on the comics or they're just doing their own
I
spin-off.
well, yeah, I don't know that either because I don't know too much.
So
So I haven't read the comic books of Moon Knight in a while. And the fact that Marvel, I mean Feige, decided to, you know, take a I don't know maybe a gamble on a character that nobody really knows about. I think it's a big deal. But then again, I think even years ago, before I think even after Daredevil, after all the Netflix heroes, people have been wanting a Moon Knight series for a while already. There are
yeah,
Moon Knight fans out there who've been wanting a Moon Knight series, but they felt like, is Marvel gonna like dumb it down or filter it because I mean I think is this Moon Knight still PG-13 or is it rated
yes,
R?
PG-13.
I mean it's PG-13, but like for a PG-13, like you still have adult content on the PG-13
Yeah,
show. I mean the Batman did pretty well as a PG-13. Even the Dark Knight Rises, the Nolan versus Batman stuff, they did pretty well with PG-13. So it doesn't
yeah.
have to be R, but I do think I read some Marvel Knights comics in the past. I don't remember too much, but I do remember, like they had Ghost Rider, they had Blade, they had Moon Knight, they had Daredevil in the Marvel Knights like catalog. So like those characters are supposed to be R rated, and
Yeah, like Punisher,
yeah,
Blade, like all of them, dude.
I I think I mean it's a good show. I really think this show is gonna do well, and then it's just going to help like bring more character. I mean, because
Getting more
we're
characters,
getting
or it's gonna
Blade.
open up the story more of the fourth.
No, but we're no. I think it's gonna bring up more characters in we, like they're gonna bring more characters for mature audience. I mean, I think like Moon Knight is a good step. I mean, Daredevil is already part of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Disney Disney Plus is taking like most of the characters from Netflix, and they stopped filming all the the Netflix heroes in Netflix, so they're bringing them into Disney Plus, and we already know that Daredevil's part of like the
Yeah.
MCU and stuff like that.
So
So Moon Knight's like another like show that's it's gonna be good for like the mature audience, and I think they're really focusing on more like shows for the mature audience
yeah,
as opposed to like just children and stuff.
that's true. Cause look at like all the other shows that Disney Plus is doing, like Kenobi. Like all of these are like PG-13, but they're kind of trying to make them more of a mature
It can
audience.
get a little bit darker. Like even the
Yeah.
Mandalorian
Mm-hmm.
can be a bit dark story wise. I mean, if you compare the Mandalorian to like the prequels of Star Wars, Star Wars is more like something you can watch with your children, your kids, and family with your mom without them getting. It's not there's not too much. I mean, there's
Yeah.
violence, but it's not too crazy. But like even the Mandalorian, there are some shows that are really really dark that
Yeah.
way. So
Definitely.
and for you guys who are just joining us today, thank you for joining us with this review. I know it's late, but I know a lot of you guys like to come up and just watch like a lot of videos and yeah, tell us what you think. Just a quick update on what's to come with the chain reaction. If you're familiar with our channel, we do the chain reaction. So the next chain reaction is going to be coming up pretty soon.
Yep. Yep. Very excited, man.
Um,
Very excited.
and I was like showing a couple of clips to Efren and stuff like that. But that's coming up pretty soon. We are going to be going back to the Star Wars roots and doing some retro reviews
Mm-hmm.
of some of the old Star Wars stuff. I think Efren already started with one of that. So that's just a quick update. Also, quick shout out to our patrons out there.
Yes, sir.
Brandon Ross, Invincible, and Jason Beltran. Thank you
What's
for
up,
being
you
a
guys?
continued patron for us. Um,
Mm-hmm. Greatly
other than
appreciate it.
that, like, what else can you say about this show?
I mean,
That you could think of. There's so much Batman in here, like Batman feel to this, and I love it so much.
yeah.
I can't wait to see what's next because I mean obviously Mark took over, and
So we're gonna see what's gonna
yeah,
really
and
happen.
Khonshu teleported. I don't know if they teleported him, but they're in Egypt now.
They're in Egypt, yeah. That hey, man, that
So
scene looks dope. Like
who
I gotta
has the
watch that shit.
scarab? Does Layla still have? Where is Layla anyway in
Well,
this
obviously
episode?
she's not gonna be like anywhere anymore. I mean, she's
No,
back
where?
at.
What happened to her?
What do you mean? What happened to her?
What happened to Layla?
She. Well, what do you mean? They Khonshu took him. So she
Oh,
got
they
away. Remember, he ended up getting away because he was running
who's
away from the jackal to try to get him away from the people. So then he took off his own way, and the jackal followed him. And then after he killed the jackal,
mm.
he was on his own with Mark, and that's when they have the dispute and the argument. And then that's when Khonshu ended up taking him to Egypt.
It was so quick. I totally
So
forgot about like what happened to Layla.
yeah, later just stayed with the crowd.
Wait, with the cult?
No, not
Oh,
the
I want to talk
cult.
about the cult, by the
Not the
way.
cult, the crowd, like where he was fighting the jackal, and
Yeah,
people were just thinking that he was a drunk because
yeah,
they
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
see the jackal.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the cult though, because like we find out more about the cult and what their motives are, what Arthur is doing. I think he was trying to convince Stephen to join his little cult and stuff,
Yeah,
and that was creepy because, dude, there's
he knows, and it's
there is
crazy
a
because
lot.
he knows.
That was creepy because, like, what's especially like we don't even know what's going on in the world nowadays. Like we don't know. I, I, I have no proof. I don't have any physical proof, but like there's talks about conspiracies about like the Illuminati and so like secret societies, and it's like damn dude, it's like Hollywood trying to is Disney Plus like trying to like give us like some like what do you call this, like
Insane.
science insights or something, or what's going on. So the fact that Arthur was trying to get Steven into his team by giving him the scarab and all that stuff, and then showing him like, hey, look, we're just we're living like normal people.
Yeah.
All we do is watch dolphins all day. You
Mm-hmm.
know, watch dolphins
We don't
swim all
even need
day.
to have our doors locked because anybody that does anything bad is gonna get judged by the goddess,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just like
It's so creepy though, and
yeah.
you can see some of the people brainwashed, like with wearing the headphones, watching just dolphin. I don't know why they're watching like the Natural Geographic, like series, but they're just watching dolphins flip from like the lake from one lake to another, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
I don't know what they're
That's
getting
a
out of
weird
that,
cult.
but yeah. So it looks like they're training these uh, their newest members or their youngest members about the cult, but it's more like brainwashing basically. They're just
Yeah.
trying to brainwash them, and also I noticed that they're trilingual. So that one girl was speaking Mandarin
Mandarin. Yeah, so
and
they try. I guess they're trying to get three dialogues or three
dialects.
languages that they're trying to learn. Like, so I guess Ethan knows like Mandarin, English. What else? I'm sure he reads hieroglyphics. In order for him to kind of like know a lot about the gods.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm sure everybody's like learning different languages, different trades,
yeah.
because they're all like one community, but this community is just brainwashed by the goddess.
And we don't even know if those police officers are real police officers.
No,
I mean,
I
maybe
doubt they're
you know
not. I
what
think they just
they
dressed
could
up.
they could actually be real police officers, but they're like crooked police officers that work for that cult, for that secret society or whatnot. And I'm telling you, I think they really do exist. We
No,
just
I'm sure
don't
they
know
do.
about it.
No, they
I
are. They
mean,
are. They are a lot
Efrain
of.
could be part of like a secret society that I don't know about, but he's just pulling this front right now that he's pretending that he's not, he's a
There
normal
are a lot of
person.
religion.
I'm
There
just
are a
kidding.
lot of religion cults. A lot of them, especially, that got exposed as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So
but hey, man, let us know what you guys think about it. We literally covered the whole episode,
as much as we can
as much as
remember,
we could.
yeah. I
If you guys caught any Easter eggs, let us know because I mean I really wouldn't be able to find much unless if I see anything that's related to any other Marvel that. But yeah, Moon Knight, I'm not too really well versed, but
yeah.
I definitely am liking so far what I see, and I really am excited for next week's next episode, so that way I can see exactly what's gonna happen in Egypt. Are they gonna talk about the history of who the gods? Are they gonna talk about
Mm-hmm.
how Mark got the powers? How Mark got into Steve? Like there's a lot
We're
that's
probably
still.
gonna see like some glimpse of like the Scorpion King, The Rock, like in the past, you know. Homer Sana.
I know.
uh,
Half God. What was he? Half a
he was a
scorpion or something
Scorpion
like
King.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. This is not connected to the
Of
Mummy
course
Returns, though.
not.
But I'm just saying
But
that would
it's
have been
just
so funny,
funny.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. There's a lot of reference to like the Mummy for me
Oh yeah.
because of
Of
the
course.
scarab and
It's
stuff.
Egypt.
Even the compass, like the compass, kind of gave me Jack Sparrow vibes because Jack Sparrow always had this compass that never worked. But
Mm-hmm.
of course, the compass works based on who holds it. So whatever, whatever you
It
value
like
the
it,
most, that's what the compass is gonna point to. But yeah, that was like a Pirates of the Caribbean
nice.
right there.
But
Um,
yeah,
that
man. Anything else you wanna add?
no, because I know you're sleepy. You want to go sleep right now.
Well, no. I mean, anything else that you
No,
wanna throw
no,
in?
no. That's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, basically, let us know what you guys think. Thank you for joining us and watching our review on this episode. Again, we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis. I
Mm-hmm.
believe there's going to be what 8 episodes of Moon Knight,
Yep.
maybe. So
So
we're going to
this,
finish this off.
and then
Until
we
the
should
next
be
one.
ready for Kenobi pretty soon. So.
Kenobi's coming up pretty soon, and
Oh,
like
we're very
everything.
pumped, man. This is gonna
Yeah.
That's a lot going on each week, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just excited to see what this next 3 months lead,
Yeah.
and then what the next future projects are gonna be.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Also, update again on like future projects. I already mentioned we are going to be doing some retro reviews. I believe I'm going to be posting the next chain reaction video in about 3 days. But if you are a patron, if you are a member to our Patreon page, you do get it like one day ahead.
hmm
Or maybe 2 days ahead. I'm sorry, I just broke my nose. I just had so much
and
coffee.
eventually, once we start getting more, as far as Patreon members, we will be separating the days instead of like 2 days. It's probably gonna be like 5 days, 4 or 5 days, just depending on the amount. Yeah,
Five
because
days on what?
4 days, like 4 or 5 days for them to for
Wait,
Patreon members to be able to watch the video before it comes out.
you mean the Patreon gets to watch it and
Yeah,
then it gets posted on YouTube 4 days
yeah, like,
after?
yeah.
Why you
What?
making the Patreon wait 4 days, bro? Wait,
What do
what?
you mean? Waiting? No, the viewers gonna be waiting unless they're
You mean
Patreon members,
you
then they
mean
can be
okay,
like, all right,
okay.
I have
You're
4 day
saying
early access to watch it.
okay, okay. So it gets posted if you're a Patreon member, it gets posted 4 days ahead, and then
hmm
it gets posted on
Yeah.
YouTube or
If it's
published on
only one
YouTube.
day, what good is
Uploaded
it
four
gonna be
days.
like? Oh, it's only one day. All right, the next day it's like, what's the
I
point
was
of
like,
that?
what the heck?
You're like, wait, it
Wait,
confused me.
wait a minute. Like, why
And
should
he's the
I?
one calling me sleepy,
No,
man.
bro, you're confusing me because you said like 4 days
Yeah.
before the Patreon sees it.
No, I said before YouTube actually gets it
Okay,
released.
that's what you mean.
It's
Okay.
so that way, at least if you're a patron, you'll be like, oh, cool, like I get really cool, like a good amount of access instead of just
Mm.
24 hours, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and we do have other projects that we're working on, which we will be announcing pretty soon. So stick around for that.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, this episode has just been incredible. I really enjoy it. I mean, I have always been fascinated with like anything that involves with
Hieroglyphics.
Egypt, exactly with like mummies, you know, and everything involving in that because I like playing like God of War. So
Mm.
when I would see
But
like the
God of
different
War is more like it's like Greek mythology, and I think the
yeah.
new God of War is like Norse
But I'm
mythology.
just talking about like as far as like the gods, the
Hmm.
history that it holds, the cultures, like all of that has its own
If you
like
really, well, if you really want to know what's going on, read the Bible.
well
That
yeah the
will
Bible.
that will
Yeah, but
scare
see
you.
the Bible is man made, so it's like you don't know what's real,
I'm
what's not.
not. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into
So
that.
like that's just gonna shut that down quickly. So but I just like am fascinated with having to know that dude. There's fucking pyramids out there with traps, booby traps that are still after thousands of years. I
Mm.
bet you still work, because they have such high tech. I'm surprised that they were
They
probably more
had no high
advanced.
tech.
Huh?
They had
They
no
were
high tech.
advanced, bro. They were way
They
advanced in their own
no no
way.
no. They had the question was the biggest question was like how are they able to build the pyramids with just using just regular hammers and nails? But then again, if you read the the history of like the pharaohs and stuff like that, they had a lot of slaves. They had thousands and thousands of like people
No,
not
no.
even getting paid minimum wage,
I
not even
feel
getting paid at all,
I've been
building these pyramids. But what you're saying is gonna be a conspiracy theory. So what's your theory of that?
no. I'm just saying. I mean, they were a lot more advanced because, dude,
Like what's the advancement?
the advancement is like all the. It's not necessarily the technology, but more of the way they build everything. I mean, they didn't have no rulers. They didn't have no
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
geometry.
what?
Like
But what are
they
the advancements though? Like
the
what do you?
advan
How do you
dude.
think they built it?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
They
the
had.
pyramid.
I'm sure they had. They didn't just have the slaves, dude. Because no damn slave can pick up and go and take heavy ass stones
So how do
all
you
into the
think? How do
very
you think
top.
they built it
Oh,
with
I'm sure
just
they had their own technology that
like what
were
kind?
able to lift
But what
anti-gravity.
technology though?
Anti-gravity.
You really think? Okay, that's
Anti-gravity.
so.
I believe
Where they
that
get the anti gravity
I
from?
believe that
That the
they're
aliens?
aliens because if you look at certain hieroglyphics, there are spaceships on certain.
Okay.
They believe that there was gods or and others that would fly, and then like if they were talking about that back then, and that was imprinted into their into their stones, then it shows like dude, there's a lot more that whether the government or
Well,
society does not
a
want
lot
you
of.
to know.
If you
They're
want to get deep,
suppressing a lot of
yeah, if you want to
information.
get deep into that and stuff like that, but like even the dollar bill, like why do you have a pyramid and like an eye and dollar bill and kind of thing. So there's a lot of like secrets and like stuff going on as far as like what we really know. I mean, but right now we're just theorizing. We don't have 100% proof of anything as far as like the how the pyramids were built and why do we have a pyramid and a dollar. But everyone has their own take on it. But like this video became into like the conspiracy theory video from like Moon Knight to conspiracy theories. But no, it is interesting to talk about that. It's interesting to like theorize like how were they
How
able
did
to
all this
how
go?
they make this perfect shaped pyramid, right?
Exactly, because
Like
everything
this
was
here.
aligned perfectly. It's not like they had
And those pyramids
rulers
were
and
aligned, like
yeah, exactly.
but
So it's like,
then
dude,
again, you can still count the stars and like measure everything through the stars and stuff. But I don't know. We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know for sure because we weren't there. Unless if somebody like traveled back in time and told us exactly what happened and how they built pyramids.
Like booby trap, the way they build
ev-
the booby trap
Everyone
was hard.
has their theory as far as like I'm sure they've done some research and explored that topic a few times just to figure out. I mean, even like archaeologists had their own theories and stuff like that. But I still think manpower. I mean, manpower is just. I mean, dude, like if you have look at our buildings. I mean, if you have like a bunch like hundreds and hundreds of construction workers, they can make these buildings. So,
Yeah,
but then
but
again,
they had the
they had the
advancement.
technology, the advancement for
Exactly.
that.
When you don't have no technology, like, dude, you're talking about.
So
Look,
where's the
look,
anti
here,
gravity?
look. You're talking about look in a whole before Christ is what they would call it. Which
Hmm.
was all the Egyptian, the gods,
The
the
pharaohs.
pharaohs, the slaves. Okay, then you're gonna have the medieval time, which happened thousands of years after. Okay, in the medieval times, people were kind of like dumb. They weren't really like too like as far as in as far as their knowledge, it looked like it went from having so much knowledge of having to create all these perfect shaped pyramids, fucking perfect shape perfect traps that can and work thousands of
How do you know
years.
there were traps in the pyramids?
What do you mean? How do you know? They created traps to be able to get people or thieves who wanted to steal all
The
of
raiders.
the raiders, any thief that wanted to take all of the gold, all of the
Hmm.
belongings to the king, because technically when the pharaoh died, he would get buried with all his belongings, which he would take with him, to prove he was a kind of like a king or a god on earth.
I have a friend like that.
So it's like having to like do know all of this, and like from people who had no technology, no cars, no lights, no
Hmm.
like any type of like
No electricity,
no
basically.
electricity, no nothing all they had was just horses and slaves, manpower. Regardless of how much manpower you
Didn't have
have,
horses. They
the
used
way that they
camels.
had their pyramids, I don't doubt they will climb all the way up with these heavy ass stones and just like, all right, carry it, all right, and then they would like, let's say fall and like break, and like, dude, everything is shaped perfectly. There's
So
no
many slaves. Dude. there was so
I
much
feel like there was a
liability. So
lot
many
more to it.
slaves died
I feel like there was.
during that era
I
because they were pulling that rock. And I'm telling you, dude, you know,
But there's gotta be
I
some
think
type
it's.
of advancement of knowledge to be able to have that. And you're talking about a time of that kind of era, and then you
So
jump into
you
the
believe the
knights.
aliens?
You jump into other eras until you finally get the 1600s, the 1500s, the 1700s, and then you kind of start seeing technology little by little start coming into play,
Mm-hmm.
and then we advance so much from the time of the internet all the way till now, which has only been like what 20 years, 30 years. That advancement gets to show you like if we advance that much within a 30-year span, all these other thousands of years, what the fuck happened?
You're saying, well, that it's been said that like humankind's advancement is slower than before. Like
Maybe
we're a
possibly now
lot
it is
we're no we're
because
yeah
of
we're
technology and a lot of
if you
distractions.
look at if you compare, especially like even now, like there's even proof, like if you compare like the U.S. Compare our technology compared to like Japan. And if you look at Japan, they're already like 10 steps ahead of like what's going on. I think they already had the iPhone like maybe 10 years before, or even like years before like the U.S. had their own like smartphones. So yeah, I mean, but it's been said that humankind we're like maybe going backwards as far as like technology, but at the same time, you know, you always have the new iPhone like every month. So
Yeah.
but that's another topic for another time.
But anyways,
But
man.
again, if you guys like the show, go ahead and comment. Like this video. Go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, man. So that's pretty much it, guys.
Yeah, man. Well,
I guess we're gonna find out more of how like the pyramids were built on the next episode.
mm-hmm.
Maybe that can answer a question.
Yeah.
I always thought Apocalypse built it.
I always felt like back then there was magic.
Apocalypse from like
I thought like there's
X-Men.
literally magic back then. Like in order they might have some type of
Yeah.
magic or spell witchcraft or something to be able to like do certain things.
I mean,
You know.
we'll never know. That's yet to be seen because you still need a lot of proof. You need a
Yeah.
lot of proof because if you don't have enough proof, then it's just a theory.
Mm.
You have to have solid proof to prove something. That's how things nowadays. That's how things are nowadays. You need a lot like legitimate proof to prove something. But that's it, guys. So go ahead and like, subscribe. You can find me at AubreyFreely_81. Thank you again for joining us.
Mm-hmm. You can find me at Efra Santos, and you can find our page at Crown Gambit, and we also have the Crown Gambit lifestyle. But yeah, man. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like the video, share it with your friends and family, and catch us on the next video, which is gonna be next week at midnight. So let's get on
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna tell Efren to get
Midnight
more
watchers.
sleep during that day, so he can be like. But yeah, thanks, guys.
Peace out.
Have a
you
good
guys.
night.